Hey there, good morning. Just wanted to say hello. Yep, slept in this morning, feels pretty good. Got a little bit of hustle in the mug, and I hope you're having a fantastic day and you had a great weekend. It's been phenomenal on my side, but it's still not over, so don't quit before the miracle happens. If being able to enjoy something with a view like this is ever in your future, this might be a great video series for you to keep on watching. Down that way about 10 miles, 12 miles is the world famous Floribama Lounge. This right here is what we call the Intercoastal Waterway. And we are at Perdido Key, Pensacola, Florida. One thing that is instrumental with building wealth and financial independence is making decisions. I know it sounds very elementary. I'm not trying to talk down to you, but this is something that seems to be very elusive to people, and even growing, the gap seems to be growing wider and wider between those that can make good decisions and those that are not able to or choose not to. And so we're going to go into about making decisions, because the first video is we had to figure out where our money's at. Okay, you always got to have a starting point. All right, no matter what you do, you're always going to have to start out at the bottom. But if you stay there, that's a choice that you constantly make. Just the same as if you were to say, you know what, I choose to be poor. I choose to have crappy vehicles. I choose to live in poverty. I choose not to be able to buy whatever it is off the shelf. I know this sounds funny, but a turning point for me is that when I could buy pistachios and beef jerky and I was not worried about the price. Now granted, they're not a high ticket item. This ain't like going and buying a Bugatti or a Rolls Royce or, you know, King Ranch diesel that's all pimped out that's $100,000. It's not like that, okay? But it is instrumental in the sense that before, in the past, I would never buy the big bag of pistachios or the big bag of beef jerky because the price point was high in relation to what it was that I was getting, okay? And our perception of value is very different with things, all right? That view that you just saw of the Intercoastal Waterway, some people say, man, that is just absolutely breathtaking. It's incredible, it's beautiful and everything, and it has a high value to them, okay? For the longest time, financially, I was always in a situation where spending $10 on something that was a total luxury item, not needed whatsoever in my lifestyle, my life would not change whatsoever if I made the purchase or I did not, okay? And so you figure that if I was to go and spend $15 on a bag of pistachios and a bag of beef jerky, it seems so minuscule to think about it, but it was a huge turning point because my views on where my finances were at had changed because of what I had done prior to that point. And the thing that I'm trying to get is setting the foundation, the groundwork for what's going to come up in the rest of this video, and it all has to do with the decisions that we make. Again, we all start at the bottom. We all make a choice if we stay there. Currently, I make the vast majority of my income is from rental properties that I've bought. I bought a lot of houses that are fixer-uppers and put the time, sweat, money into them myself, built a lot of equity up, and then I have cash flow that happens, so I get to enjoy Christmas 12 times a year. It happens at the first of the month. Hey everybody, my name is Robert Biggerstaff. I appreciate you tuning in to the channel here. We are all about some financial independence, and it's really not about the money that we're looking for, it's about the freedom. And if you share my same views and look forward to the day that you wake up and say, what is it that I'm going to do instead of what is it that I can't do because I don't have enough money or I didn't put away or I didn't invest earlier, then you're in the right place. All right, we're going to talk about I'm going to share with you how it is that I look at things and making decisions, okay? You know where your money's at as far as what's coming in and what's going out. Now you're in the process of building a foundation, and you're going to have reserves. 6 months. Once we got that, guess what? Now we're going to start to do something else. But in the meantime, you're going to get education. Talk with people. Talk with rich people. Talk with people that are business people. Talk with people that you would be willing to trade places with. Now, the thing is that you don't know everything about everybody, and you don't know everything about me, okay? All you see is basically social media, okay? Those that are close to me, that know me, that live in my hometown, now they can show some different things. And you can research me and kind of find out some stuff about me and everything like that. With the internet, it's real easy, okay? Thing about it is you need to start educating yourself financially. Figure out what it is that people are doing. Ask yourself, what is it that I know? What don't I know? Okay? In the meantime, on putting this 6 months together, you need to educate yourself. You need to start listening to people that talk about crypto, multi-level marketing, book selling, flipping houses, selling on eBay, Amazon reseller. Find out about all kinds of ways to make money, and then also invest money. The thing that I notice with wealthy people that are in a position that I would like to trade places with, it's not so much as how much return on an investment they're going to get, but more in the sense of what's the likeliness of the return of capital. And what I mean by that is that if they make an investment of $50, what's the likeliness they're going to get that $50,000 back? And here's the other thing about that is it kind of works in reverse with us, so to speak, in the sense having to do with your credit score. If you got an 800 or better credit score, for you to get a credit card that's got, below 8%, it ain't hard at all. It's extremely easy, okay? But if you got a credit score that's like 580 to 640, you don't get a credit card with an interest rate above 20. Because they say that the likeliness of them getting their money back from you is going to be that much harder than somebody with a credit score of over 800. So what ends up happening is that the better risk you are for them to return their capital that they give you on that card, they're getting their money back, okay? And just the same as the only thing that's guaranteed as far as an investment goes is leaving your money in a bank that is FDIC insured, okay? Now, if the bank goes under and the FDIC has to step in, it'll probably be a while before you get your money back. It's not going to be like business as usual when you can just walk in, because it don't happen. My understanding is basically they go in there, do an audit on the bank, audit on the books, and basically freeze everything. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out. And then they figure out who's got what, and then they start to figure out, okay, we're going to get this back to them. All right? Well, most of you know that a bank doesn't even pay 1%. If you leave the money sitting in a savings account, you get 1% back. Okay? The problem with that is that inflation goes anywhere from about 4 to 7% a year up. So that means that if you got an investment that's not making 5%, chances are your actual principal amount, the amount you start with, is diminishing, and it's less every year because of how you have it invested. If you're okay with that, I got no issue with it. It's your money. The problem is that if you actually want that money to grow and be something, 20, 30 years down the line, you're going to have to outrun inflation. Some years inflation's 8 to 12%, some years it's only 2%. Okay, I can't predict that, but generally speaking, on average, it's about 4 to 5%. So your investment that you have to invest in needs to be 6% or better to be making any kind of money. All right. I don't make the rules, but I do have to play by them. Again, educate yourself. Find out what it is, all right? Find out what a annuity is. Find out what term life insurance is. Find out what whole life insurance is. Find out what a traditional IRA is. Find out what a Roth IRA is. Find out what a 1031 exchange is having to do with when you sell the real estate. Find out what it's like to own a rental property. Go talk to some landlords that have multiple properties. Ask them, hey, would you do this again, you know? Generally speaking, I only have 2 answers from people that are in real estate. I love it! And others are like, oh, hell no, I'd never do it again. I had one and that was it. I'm done. You know, I don't want to deal with people any longer. I don't have anybody that I've talked to that says, well, I got 3 of them and yeah, it's okay and everything like that. Yeah, you know, I can take it or leave it or anything like that. It's like, yeah, or no, I'm done. Screw that. I ain't messing with rental properties or anything like that. So it's either you're all in or you're all out, okay? Again, I need you to get educated, okay? This is one of the big problem. You think the pandemic's a problem? Financial illiteracy in this country is huge. And I read a story about there was a king that ruled his village through oppression. And what he did is he paid everybody so little money that they could not get ahead in life. The other thing that he did is he made sure that wine was cheap in the village. So there was a lot of people that were drinking in their off time, and they weren't doing nothing like getting no side hustles going or doing anything or amassing anything or building anything. And the reason, and nobody really understood how he was doing this, but he was ruling by oppression. If you don't financially educate yourself, you're allowing yourself to be ruled by oppression. One of the most important lessons that I have ever learned, folks, is this: the golden rule. The one with the gold makes the rules. That's not the rule I ever knew. Let me say it again. The one with the gold makes the rules, okay? I'll give you an example. Here in Florida, we have a lot of hurricanes. They're very expensive when you get damage done. Generally speaking, the first thing to go is a roof on a house, okay? Average roof probably in my town is about $12,000 to $14,000, right? The thing about it is that we had a hurricane about 2 years ago, Hurricane Sally. What the homeowners insurance companies are doing now is they're looking for any excuse to get out of the state of Florida. Why? Because it's not as lucrative for them to sell policies here, because it costs so much when there's a claim being made due to a hurricane. What they're doing is they're going and finding out when the last time a roofing permit had been on a house. If it's 15 years or older, they're mandating you've got to get a new roof or we're going to drop you and you will no longer have a policy with us. Okay, screw you, I'll find somebody else. Here's the catch. Very few people want to write policies in the state of Florida. All right? You go to some place like Arkansas, you probably get 30 different people that want to write homeowners insurance, and they're all extremely reasonable, okay? I mean, for a house that's, $50,000, $60,000, we're having to pay $2,800 a year for homeowners insurance, and that's outrageous. However, I understand totally because they have to hedge their bet. There's a mathematical formula that says for every certain number of years, there's going to be something happen, and when it does happen, the average claim is going to be this amount of money, so we have to charge this amount of money per year, and it's going to outrun what that claim will be if it does occur. I get it. I'm a business person myself. I understand, okay? However, the caveat is that in your mortgage, it says you must carry homeowners insurance. So guess what? The mortgage company is the one that holds the gold because they've got your mortgage. And so for your rates not to go up astronomically or even be cut off, then you've got to get a new roof. So the gold owner is dictating what the worker has to do, which is the homeowner. So in this case, The one with the gold is making the rules. The rule is you have to get a new roof, okay? The thing about it is that when you can financially educate yourself to what's going on, all right, and some people might be in a situation that it would be much more lucrative for them to be self-insured, get their house paid off, and then instead of paying that premium to an insurance company, you take that money and put it in an S&P 500 index fund or something of that nature, or bank it a few years, go buy a dump trailer, or buy you a lawnmower and a weed whacker and a blower and everything, start your little side business and everything. There's no telling. But I do know a gentleman that had over 500 properties at one time. He was self-insured on all of them, had 2 of them that actually burned in his real estate career. And he told me, he said, I made so much more money by not having insurance on these properties and investing the money. Okay, now what he did do is he had what we call an umbrella liability policy, which was a policy that covered all of his properties. So in case somebody got hurt on them, okay, somebody's walking on your property, falls, hits their head, trips down the steps, whatever it is, they were covered. Okay, but again, the one with the gold makes the rules. All right, one with education can make some rules for themselves as well. And that's where the power comes in, is when you figure out exactly what it is that I'm going to do, what I'm capable of doing, and what I can do. So do me a favor. While we're making this 6-month nest egg right here, get some education. Figure some things out. Talk to people. Watch videos. Go to YouTube and type in "get rich" and see what happens. All right? And then just start watching all of that. Watch, find successful business people. Look at what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger do, okay? Warren's not, I think the man's brilliant and everything, but I'm not sure if he's a genius, okay? And I haven't seen anything or heard anything that comes out of his mouth that makes me say, oh, he's way out of my league or anything like that. I don't think so, okay? But what I do know is that he's got a theory and a principle on the way that he does investing, and he's never deviated from that. He has always stayed the course. And if you talk to the majority of the people having to do with the stock market, what do they like? When things are good, they get in. When things are bad, they start to panic and they get out. And guess what? That needs to be completely opposite. Everybody's like, oh man, the stock market's crashing. I'm like, woohoo! Be time to be buying. That's what I'm talking about. Get in there. Get in when it's low. And most people aren't like that. This panic, this thing, starts to creep in there and says, get out. You're losing money. Stop. You only lose money when you sell something. I don't make the rules, but I got to play by them. So, the last thing you're going to do, stop. Hit the subscribe button. Ding, ding. Appreciate it. Thank you. Get education. Financial education. Figure things out. Learn what works. Learn what doesn't work. A lot of people out there sell you a bill of goods. They do a lot of videos on the hood of a Lamborghini and they ain't never even owned one. Be careful on who you take advice from. Make sure that you're willing to trade places with them. The other thing that I'd recommend is paying attention to what gets said, because if you keep hearing the same thing reoccurring, okay, over time, then there's a lot to be said for that. Just the same as 2 things that I always hear about is consistency and discipline. Consistency and discipline. Consistency is what gets me up at 3:30 in the morning. Discipline is what says, regardless of how you feel, you're getting up. Hope you have a great day and had a good weekend.